I'm Sheila Jordan and this is my Rickman Ranger.
Now, the idea of these features is to do features on cars that are used throughout the winter, so it's not just kit cars that are used in the summer, and I think you can safely say that yours is used all year round.
All year round it is. Everything from working to going on walks, we go visit family, holidays, trips, literally for everything.
And it's literally your work car as well.
It is my work car, where I have all my cleaning gear in the back and I take my clients for appointments, days out and what have you. So yes, yeah, I couldn't be without it.
So tell me how you came to come by a Rickman, because you were looking for something else originally.
Yes, I really like the Morris Minor, but they were so expensive. You know, even just as a scrap vehicle, you're paying a good 20 grand. And for something that was going to be needed every day, and going through, you know, lanes and occasionally having to deal with a little bit of water, if you like. My other half said about the Rickman Ranger and how he'd been, you know, researching them and asked me what I thought of them. And yeah, I just said straight away, I absolutely love that. That looks such a sweet little car. Let's do it.
So it was the cute appeal of the car first.
Yes.
And so the hunt started to find one.
Yeah.
And eventually you ended up making a car out of a good car out of two.
Yes, yes. So Terry, my other half, he'd bought this one and a body shell that he used from another one, and we've still got quite a lot of the spare parts from the other one, and he just basically took it down to bare chassis and built it back up again to suit my needs.
And one of the things, he wanted to give you a 1.6 engine, and you had your own ideas.
Yes, because, you know, it's just a car, you know, that I use every day, and I see that it's not a car that needs to be hammered, if you like. You know, it needs to be sort of treated with respect. You know, I was asked if I wanted to, you know, go off-roading, or didn't I want to go faster? No, that's not what it's about, and that's not what it should be about. It's literally to suit my needs. So I asked for 1300, and it's fantastic. It does exactly what I need it to do.
It's actually room to fit higher seats, isn't there?
There is. Yeah. And it's good for tall people as well.
Yes, very good. This seat isn't fully back either, is it?
No, it's not. No, because
no, what I mean is there's room for it to go back. There's plenty
there is
of room.
Loads of room for it to go back. You know, and Ben's very tall, long-legged, so, and he has plenty of room in the back as well. And it's so fun to drive. I love driving this.
Is it because of the height, or the reaction, or?
All of it. All of it. I love, primarily because I'm very short, it's nice to be that bit higher up. and it's just fun, you know. It's proper old school as well, you know. So.
Is it a 4-speed box?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes I look for a 5th gear and it's not there. And Tony says, "You can't have that because you only wanted a 1300." Okay.
So what's the best bit about this then? Driving around in it.
It's just cool to drive it. It's like, because it's so completely different. And I love people's reactions as well. And they'll come and chat to me, or just a passing comment. And as I said to you earlier about that little kiddie, just to make, you know, a little child's day by just letting him stand in the back or sit in the front. If I can make somebody happy, I'm all for that.
So someone comes along and offers you a BMW 3 Series in exchange for this, what do you say?
No. That's the politest answer I can give you.
and the simplest reason is?
I don't particularly like the modern cars. I mean, look at that in front. I mean, it's a square box on wheels. And this is just completely different. It's so much more fun to drive. Cars, modern cars, you know, they pretty much drive themselves, if you like. There's no fun in that. There's no enjoyment in that. Whereas this, you know, you have to drive it, and it's great. I think people can get quite lazy and sort of almost complacent.
Yeah.
Driving a modern car, because it's all switches and dials and everything's done for them, where this is manual and it's old school. You have to be aware, and you know, you're on top of what you're doing.
And are there things you've noticed you can do because you've got this car that you couldn't if you had, say, another one?
You mean what, like a car, a modern day car?
Just from a practical point of view, things that you've noticed and you've gone, oh great, you know, if I had another car I couldn't do that, or I couldn't carry that. Or...
Well, it's things like, as we said earlier about the whole boot situation. It's so much easier for lifting my cleaning equipment in and out, and just cleaning purposes out of the back as well, you know, when you want to keep it clean and tidy. And I find with a lot of the clients that I work for, when I take them out, they struggle to get into the modern day cart because they're either too low or too high up. Whereas this, they just sit themselves in, they can get their legs in, and they're absolutely fine. And you know, they actually think it's really fun to drive as well. I got a 96-year-old lady who I go to and take her to appointments or shopping or what have you, and she calls it Jeep Jeep. She loves it, so that's always stuck. It's called Jeep Jeep. Beltube Lighthouse, and we took this. We drove all the way there, and we did all the trips to Brighton and so forth, and it managed no problem at all, and it's great. It just goes everywhere.
Do a lot of walks, so
yeah.
When he came to the interior, what was the questions then? What was the issue?
So Terry asked me, you know, what I wanted for the inside, knowing that we do a lot of walking and, you know, camera equipment and all sorts of bits and pieces that we would carry with us. So I said I need easy clean, easy maintenance, because I used to be an ex-car valeter, so I know how, you know, vehicles can get muddy. So he put in the checker plating, Land Rover checker plating for me. So, you know, you can bit of water and some chemical, you can clean it out, easy, job done. And I've still got my mod cons like everybody else. I've got my cup holder, I've got my phone holder, got my USB charging points. So it's really, really good all-purpose use.
And how long have you had the car?
Oh, 6 years now. 6 years. So come June, end of June, it'll be 7 years.
And it obviously, they're very sturdy. It's got a fiberglass body, and now that you're not dealing with the flooded lanes anymore, you know, he said you don't need it anymore.
And I told him not to dare sell it or take it away. He'd be in trouble. I absolutely love this vehicle, and to actually think that I wouldn't have this anymore, it was just not a done deal.
So if you were to meet someone and they were to ask you whether this would be any good for you know, for them, what would you say are the most important selling points for you on the car?
For me in the car, it's practicality. You know, it's easy to maintain. Everything underneath it is Escort. So the other half, he was a Ford mechanic. So for him to deal with that is really, really good for him to keep on top of that. But for me, it's practicality. You know, I can get through most weathers. It's easy to drive. Yeah.
And access?
Access is really, really good because obviously you've got the two doors, and you've also got the up and over tailgate with the open sideways door. So to actually get things in and out is really, really good, instead of actually just having to lift it up and over like a normal boot of any other vehicle. So yeah.
And it's easy for someone to get in and out and you know.
Yeah, I got elderly that I take to appointments, or I take them for a day out or what have you. So, you know, I've got clients at 96 that can get in and out of this. So yeah.
And what's the reaction of the public to the car?
It's amazing. It doesn't matter whether I'm just driving along or I'm stuck in traffic. You can see people looking, and you get the acknowledgement of a nod of a head or a hand up or something. I can be at petrol pumps and I can be talking to 2 or 3 different people because they're saying, I love your vehicle, what is it? Haven't seen anything like it. It has been mistaken for being a Suzuki, and then when I said no, it's not a Suzuki, it's a Rickman Ranger. What's one of them? And they want to know, not just the older generation, but actually the youngsters. I've had young lads sort of 19, 20 saying, oh Mrs, love your vehicle, really, really cute. And for a young lad to say a vehicle's cute, fantastic.
And just trying to think, what with these cars, there's always little tweaks and changes that people make as time goes on. Is there anything planned for this that you want to, next to do, or are you happy with it as it is and you just want to keep it as it is?
No, I'm absolutely 100% happy as it is. At some point I'd like to get a respray done on it, just to get it up and together. There's a few chips here and there, and it's a one-off colour. There is no other colour because I wanted a true red, so I really want to keep that up and together, but no mods and cons or anything like that. No extras needed whatsoever. It's great as it is.